All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started for sake of time. I have on your screen our agenda for today. So I'll briefly introduce myself, then we will go over the Zoom dashboard and a couple of settings that I suggest you all have, and then we'll explore Zoom features, and then I'll take any remaining questions that you all may have. So again, good morning. My name is Dominique Harbor. I am an educational technology specialist with the Department of Instructional Technology. I service a few schools in the North Atlanta cluster and the Douglas cluster. And there is my email information below in the event that you have some additional questions after this session. And also, if you are on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter at APSIT Dominique. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Zoom dashboard. So as you can see, this is our APS Zoom link. So when you are logging into Zoom, please make sure that this is the link that you are using. This is what will make sure that you have access to the licensed feature of Zoom. So once I'm here, I'm going to click sign in. And if it's your first time signing in, it may prompt you to enter in your APS username and password. Just do that and then it'll log you in and you will come to your Zoom dashboard, which is what you are seeing here. Okay, so I'm not going to really go over settings because there are so many settings, but to get to your settings, simply click settings, and you have settings that you can change to your liking. So you have settings for security, when you schedule a meeting, basic in-meeting settings, advanced in-meeting settings, email, and other. So again, there's a lot of settings here. If you see something that is kind of grayed out or has this circle with this line through it, when you hover over it, that means that the district has already enabled or disabled that feature. So we don't have control over those, but there are a few that you can personalize to your liking. So I'm going to show you how to schedule a meeting. So I'm going to click up here, schedule a meeting, and I'll go over quickly these three up here. So you see you have schedule a meeting, join a meeting, and host a meeting. So schedule a meeting means obviously I schedule a meeting for advance. Join a meeting is if I want to join someone else's meeting. And host a meeting means if I just kind of want to host a meeting on the fly. I don't have anything scheduled, but I may just want to meet with someone, right now. I would click host a meeting. And then I have these three options: with video on, with video off, or just a screen share. So here I am in scheduling a meeting. I can put my topic or my title here. If I want to give a description, I can, but that's totally optional. Here is where I will select the date and the time of the meeting. The duration, and make sure that you have the correct time zone here. Recurring meeting is just if I want to schedule a meeting that continues to occur ever so often. So if you're a classroom teacher, this would be a great feature to use. You can select if you want it to recur daily, weekly, monthly, or no fixed time, how often you want it to repeat. So let's say I do weekly, I say repeat every week, and I want to have it occur on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I would just select those two. I can either select an end date or a number of occurrences. So after so many occurrences, then that meeting will end. And so that is how you would schedule a recurring meeting if you wanted to. Here you have the option of requiring registration. I would not check that. I would try to make it as easy as possible, especially for our students to be able to log on to your Zoom call. Security, so this is your passcode. Now, you can enable that. I don't necessarily have it enabled. So when you give someone a link to your meeting and they click on that meeting, they don't necessarily need a meeting ID or a password. A meeting ID and a password is needed when that person does not have a link to your meeting. You can just say, here's the meeting ID and the password. This is how you can join. So those are two different ways to join the meeting. Here where it says waiting room, we definitely suggest that you enable a waiting room for added security. So what that does is that places everyone that is attending into a waiting room. So they can't actually come into your Zoom call until you admit them into the waiting room. So that just helps you know who is coming into your meeting. If you see a name that you are unfamiliar with, you have the option of not admitting them into your meeting. So we definitely suggest keeping that on for an added layer of security. You have the option of joining with your video on or off for a host, same for participant. Audio, I would keep both checked in the event that you have someone that is joining via telephone or computer audio, give them both options to do so. Enable join before host, what that does is just allows people to enter my meeting before I am there. So if I have the waiting room enabled, then they'll be able to sit in the waiting room before I actually come and start the meeting. But if I do not have this checked, then when someone clicks on the link, if I'm not there yet, if I haven't started the meeting, they'll get a message that says the host has not started the meeting yet, and they won't be able to come in until you as the host come in and start the meeting. This just allows you to mute upon entry. So if you are doing, let's say, a live lesson, I would suggest clicking that in case someone comes in a little tardy. It just automatically mutes them so you don't have any distraction with their background noise. Only authenticated users can join. Again, I would leave that unchecked for students just because we don't want to take them through any extra steps. That waiting room enables you to see who is coming in, so you can kind of, know who's coming in your room there. Breakout room pre-assign. I'm going to go over breakout rooms a little bit later in the session, But if I click this, what this does is allow me to create breakout rooms ahead of time, as opposed to creating them while I'm in the meeting. I still have the option of doing both, but if I click create rooms, and then I click on the plus sign here, this is breakout room 1, and of course I can edit the name of that breakout room if I want to, but this is where I would add participants. And so I would just start typing the name and click on that name, and now that person is in breakout room 1. And so I'll just keep creating breakout rooms and adding. Now, please note that Zoom is still working on full integration with students. So as of right now, you may not see your students in there. So please be patient, it is coming, but know that will be available to you once students are in the system, then you'll be able to go and add them to breakout rooms ahead of time. Record the meeting automatically, you have that option. You can do it on the local computer or you can do it in the cloud. And that's just pretty much preference. So if you do it, if you record in the cloud, it will save your recording for, I think, up to 14 days. After 14 days, it will delete it. So I suggest either way, either option you choose, if you choose doing it on the local computer or in the cloud, just taking that and uploading it to your Google Drive, because you know we have unlimited storage. So that way you will still have access to those videos after that 14 days, and you can share that with your students or whoever may want a copy of the recorded session. Alternative hosts allow me to just choose an alternative host ahead of time. So if I have a co-teacher or if I have someone that I want to be host in the case of my absence, I can just add their email address here. So I would put their username at apsK12.org. And then enable language interpretation. I'm not sure that that is probably what most people think it is. So I don't think that's really relevant for any of us, unfortunately. Click save, and then your meeting will be scheduled. There was one more thing I want to go over in the dashboard. So I'm going to click on reports here.
Ms. Dominique, is the meeting time important?
It's not really. You could start it before the actual meeting time, but if you send out an invite or anything like that, it's going to have the time that you select on there.
Okay, but they can join if I host that meeting. Say I set it for 8, they can join at 7 if I'm in it, if it was pre-created.
Correct.
Thank you.
Sure. So I'm under reports now, and I'm going to hit usage. So this is a way to get a report for who attended your meeting. So let's see, I'm going to get this out the way. Let me change my dates here. So it will list all the meetings that I've had. And let me find one with a number of participants. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just choose this one that says 67. So here it shows me everyone that attended the meeting. So this is just another way to get attendance for that day. If you are, as a teacher, doing daily live sessions in Zoom, here's where you can see who was there. And it also tells you how long they were logged on for. So you also can see their duration. And I can just click export to export this to an Excel sheet to have that for reference. Okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to look at the chat for a second to see if there are any questions I can address before moving on. So there is no end time, so to speak. You just do the duration. So you can put a start time, say it starts at 10, and then a duration of 2 hours, but there's nowhere for you to enter an end time. Did you still want me to show how to schedule a meeting again?
Please.
Giselle?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Ms. Harbor, if you do schedule for 2 hours, say for instance, you use that link to have a meeting and it goes over 2 hours, will the Zoom meeting automatically just stop?
No, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So it's not going to stop until you actually stop it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back in my Zoom dashboard, and to schedule a meeting at the top here, I just click schedule a meeting and then fill in the information to my preferences. So as you can see, once it starts to load, I can put the date and the time that I want it to start, and then the duration. So I don't need to put an end time. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So we in our school we have to create the meetings and put in a Google Classroom. So if you create this link, it doesn't matter the date. For example, we have to create one link for the whole school year. So we can use the same link for the whole school year.
Yes. So in that case, that's why I would suggest scheduling a recurring meeting.
Can you show us a little bit? Can you show us again?
Yes.
Please, thank you.
So here, if I check recurring meeting, then it gives me some additional options. So I can say I want it to happen daily, weekly, monthly. So you choose how often you want it to occur, and then how often you want it to repeat. So I'm going to choose weekly. I think that is probably what most people would use in this scenario. And then I can say repeat every 1 week or every 2 weeks. And then I choose the days that I want it to repeat. So it could be every day, it could just be Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I select either an end date or after so many occurrences.
Ms. Harbor.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
Ms.
Yes.
Harbor, I have a quick question, darling.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, okay, so I had a Zoom before the APS Zoom, and what
Yes.
I've noticed is that because APS has a different version than me, I often revert back to my original version, and I did not get the option to do all of these settings. Do I need to uninstall, reinstall?
I would make sure, I had this problem with Teacher yesterday. I would make sure that when it reverts you back to the old Zoom account, click log out.
Okay.
Click log out and then log back in with your APS K-12 account, and that should take care of it.
The K-12.
So it keeps kind of like switching back and forth.
Okay, so don't log in with the APS K12.org.
You can log in with the old one and then log out of it to make sure that you are signed out of it.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
Ms. Harbor, the occurrences on the host or schedule a meeting, are those reminders, are those important if you put one occurrence? Because I was finding that when I scheduled a meeting, like the Ms. Kirk said for the whole school year or whatever, it was listing all of the occurrences in my scheduled meetings. And I thought maybe that was just a reminder function, that occurrence. Is that important to put 1 or 7 or?
So if you put the number of occurrences, it's going to show it as an actual meeting. So for every time, because it's thinking that you're going to meet every time, on that day at that time.
So say you don't, so say you do not use those or pay attention to those occurrences. Is that link still live so that you go past the 7 occurrences? Can you still meet even if you go past those occurrences?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. If you there's an option to, next to your name, if you click on your name, you should see an option that says rename. Someone asked how to change their screen name. I think I have that enabled. Yes, you can rename yourself if you click on your name, and I think click on the three dots, and you should see an option that says to rename yourself. Oh, okay. So for virtual background, someone asked how I created my virtual background. I actually got the animated background from Canva. And then what I did was I inserted my Bitmoji and our department logo on top of it. And then I just saved it, and I'm able to upload. We are now able to upload both images and video, but by video, you know, something, a short video. So that's how I created my virtual background.
Is there a training on how to get creative like that, like your background? Like, is there a training offered by PLC? After we learn all these cute, these apps that you're teaching us, is there a way to get creative and take it to the next level?
Probably not by the Professional Learning Network.
Okay.
Are you at a school or are you at a department? In a department?
I'm at school, I'm a teacher, and I was actually asking a friend to help me with the Bitmoji. Like, I want all those bells and whistles, but I need to be taught, trained.
So your ETS should be able to help you with that. Do you know who the ETS for your school is?
Yes.
Okay, so contact him or her, and they should be able to. All of us are great at all the fancy Bitmoji and all that stuff, so they should be able to help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to bump in, but Rosemary, so on Teachers Pay Teachers, they have a free Bitmoji classroom where you just go in and drop in your Bitmoji and you put in your links. You can change the links that are already in. So if you're interested, it's on Teachers Pay Teachers, and you just search free Bitmoji classrooms. It's some nice people, those who are less tech savvy, because I did the research for my teammate, and it's in there. So you can go ahead and just drop in your Bitmoji, change your links, and you're good to go. It's everything from a regular classroom to a library to gym, art, everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Harbor, when we're first setting up our class, my question is this: with the video, would you leave the participant off or on?
I would say on with your babies, so you can see them. Yeah, I don't really see a need for turning that off. I would actually want to see them to make sure that they are, you know, paying attention and focusing. So yes, I would suggest leaving them on.
Is there a way to, if a child is misbehaving, to put the child out of the class?
Yes, so if you have the waiting room enabled and you just want to give them maybe a little timeout, you can send them to the waiting room. Or you also have the option of just removing them altogether. So yeah.
Okay.
Do we do that by clicking on participants and then the option will show on their name?
Yes.
Thank you.
That is correct. And I'm going to go over all of that.
Okay, I have a question about the breakout room.
My virtual background I used was Canva, C-A-N-V-A. And actually they have right now where educators can get access to their educational content for free. So if you, I'll see if I can find that link and drop it in the chat before we leave today. But you're able to access content free as an educator. Okay, so let me go into Zoom features. So you all should be able to see my Zoom screen now. So I'm going to go over these controls just from left to right. So this first one is our audio settings. So this is where I can mute and unmute myself. If I click on this arrow, I can select microphone, I can select a speaker. You shouldn't really need to change those unless you plug in an additional microphone or an additional speaker. By default, it's going to select the one that your computer uses. But if you, let's say, buy a microphone, a USB microphone or speaker and hook it up, you have the option of selecting those as your primary audio source. Here, I can test my speaker and microphone. If I might be having some audio issues, this gives me the option to kind of test it and see, you know, what's going on. I can switch to phone audio, leave computer audio, and then additional audio settings I can access by clicking there. This next one, video settings. So again, this is where I can start or stop my video. If I click on this arrow, same thing for the camera. So by default, it's going to select, you know, the camera that the camera for the computer that I'm using. But if you have a document camera or a web camera and you attach it, you would be able to select that as an option once it's hooked up. Here is where I can choose my virtual background. So I'm going to click on this really quickly. And so again, we have the option now of, hopefully they don't take the video option away, but we have the option of having an image or a video background. So I would click this plus sign here and I would add image if I have an image, or add video if I have a video. Just make sure that it is saved locally on your computer, because it's going to prompt you to upload those images or that video from your computer. And that's how you can change your virtual background. Okay, security here. So this first one, lock meeting. This allows me to just lock my meeting. So if I know all my students are in, no one else should be coming in, I can just lock that meeting to where no one else can enter that meeting, waiting room or anything. Here is just another way I can enable my waiting room. So, and one thing I do want to mention, so once you go in, kind of set all your settings, you are not stuck to those settings. Most of those settings you can change within your meeting. So let's say in your settings, you enabled the waiting room for, or you didn't enable it for this meeting. I can still come here and say, you know what? I'm going to enable a waiting room from now on. So whoever else comes to this meeting, they're going to be sitting in the waiting room until I admit them. This is what I allow participants to do. So if I want them to be able to share their screen, I want to make sure that's checked. Their ability to chat, I can turn that off or on. Their ability to rename themselves. I think we have some suggestions for that coming from the district. I would say initially to turn that off, just because we don't want students renaming themselves something, you know, that may be inappropriate or something just, you know, silly. So I would kind of hold off on that until you meet with your students and maybe establish like some Zoom etiquette and establish a level of trust to be able to then rename themselves, to know that they're not going to rename themselves anything, you know, crazy. You can allow them to be able to unmute themselves or not. So if you are, let's say you are doing a live lesson and a portion where, you know, you don't want anyone, any background noise or anyone to be able to talk, you can make it where they are not able to unmute themselves. And then annotate on shared content. So you can have them be able to annotate or not, just by having this checked or unchecked. No, you will not be reminded to go get them. You can open up your participant panel and it'll just show you that they are in the waiting room still, but there will not be a reminder to say, you know, you have people waiting in the waiting room. Here is where you can remove someone. And here is where you can actually report someone to Zoom. If for some reason you would need to, you can report that person. If I click here on participants, it opens up my panel and I can see everyone that is in my meeting. And so notice when I hover over someone's name, the first option is unmute. I can unmute them. If I click on more, it gives me more options. So I can stop their video. I can spotlight their video for everyone. I can make them the host, which means that would take away my host privileges, or I can make them a co-host. So making someone a co-host gives them pretty much all the same access to the meeting that you have as a host, with the exception of creating polls and creating breakout rooms. So as a co-host, I do not have the ability to do those two things, but I have access to pretty much everything else within the meeting. I can click here if I want them to be able to start recording. If I wanted to assign someone to type closed caption, if I want to rename them, I can click here to rename them. And there's an option for putting them in the waiting room, and then again, remove or report. Down here are just some reactions that students can send to you, not send to you, but it'll appear by their name if they click any one of these. So they can, if you ask a question, they can click yes, no. They can signal you to go slower or go a little faster. And then if they click more, dislike, like, clap, need a break, or away. And so those are just some reactions that they are able to have access to. So like I just saw that Rosemary checked yes. And then clear all just allows me to clear everyone's reaction. So let's say I ask a question and everyone answers, and I can just hit clear all to clear everyone's reaction simultaneously.
Will we see reactions on our host screen? Like when I said yes, I did that to see if I saw it. Like,
So you won't see it because you aren't the host.
right. Well, how will we see it? Because I know that sometimes it says somebody wants to get in the meeting, you can barely see it. Like when you get that alert and I miss it.
Yeah, so you'll need to have this participants open. It'll alert you, and then you have to come and open the window
What
to
if
actually see it and admit them.
So if a student says yes or no or slow down, where do we see that alert?
So can you see it next to your name right there?
Well, I saw when I said yes, but I'm talking about if I were hosting, like what do you see? Like if
Yeah,
I
so
were,
you're viewing my screen right now. So do you see the green check next to your name?
I'm sorry. Duh.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's okay. So yeah, you would see it next to their name as the host.
My bad.
It's okay. I get it. And so I can hit clear all to clear all of the reactions that you see now. It's gone. Down here, clicking on invite just gives me quick access to my meeting ID, which is here, meeting password, which is here. I can click here to copy an invite link. I can click here to copy an entire invitation. So it'll give you the link, the meeting ID, the password, as well as numbers to call in if you're calling in via telephone. So here are my contacts. Again, everyone's not in here yet, but if I know that person is online, or it'll show me if they're online, I can, again, just start typing a name and just send them an invite from here. Additionally, I can send an email. So I choose the email service, click on it. It'll generate an email already with the Zoom invitation, and just send an email. This mute all, and then clicking on these three dots just gives me access to a few more options. So I can ask everyone to unmute their microphone. Let's say I'm done with my portion of the lesson and we're about to converse about a topic or something, I can ask everyone to unmute. I can, again, mute them upon entry, allow them to unmute themselves, allow them to rename themselves, play a sound when someone joins or leaves. So just to let you know, because you're not going to be able to see it, I can have a sound played. Again, enable waiting room and lock meeting. Okay, let me close that. Polls. So I'm going to click here on polls. If I click, you see it says to add a question. So I can click on add a question, and it will then take me to my Zoom dashboard where I can go and create a poll. Now, you can create a poll ahead of time, but only for a scheduled meeting. So once you schedule a meeting, you're able to go back to that meeting, edit, click edit, and then you'll see at the very bottom of that page, the option for you to add a poll. So if you already know what you want to ask ahead of time, you can go ahead and create that poll. I don't know why it's moving slow for me here. Come on. So as I'm waiting for it to load, for the poll, you're able to type your question, and then you're able to select whether or not you want students to be able to answer a single choice, meaning choose only one answer, or multiple choices, meaning they can choose more than one answer. I'm gonna come up, there we go. Okay, minimize this. So here we are. So I can enter a title for this poll. I can check whether or not I want it to be anonymous. Now, what this refers to is just the poll report. So if I do a poll at the end of my meeting, where I showed you all how to get your attendance report, you can also get a poll report. And so if I leave this unchecked, meaning that I don't want it to be anonymous, it will show me who answers what on that poll report. Now, I won't be able to see it while I'm in the meeting conducting the poll, only on that poll report. If I check this, and it will not show me who answered what on that poll report. So I can type my question here. I'm just going to say, how are you feeling? Happy, cool, okay. And I can add more questions if I want to. I'm going to click save. Go back to my poll, and then I'm going to click launch polling. And so you all should now see a poll on your end. I saw someone ask how to get to polls. So at the bottom here, right next to participants, just click polls and it'll open up that prompt.
But how did you get to if you wanted to schedule it ahead of time again? Just where was it on that page? Sorry.
Oh, so you have to schedule the meeting first. Once you have that meeting scheduled, you have to go to that actual meeting in your dashboard and click edit on that meeting. And then at the bottom, you'll see an option to go ahead and create your poll ahead of time. Okay, so I'm going to end polling, and then I'm going to click share results, which will allow you to see the results of the poll. So majority of us are feeling cool, some happy, some a little stressed, somebody's yelling help, which I completely understand. We have so much going on right now. So that is polling. If we have time at the end for who asked me about where to edit the poll, I'll go back and show you under scheduled meetings. Okay, chat. So here is chat. I have mine popped out. So this is where I can just go see my chat. Can you all see this window?
Yes.
Okay. So I have the option to chat with everyone in the meeting or just particular people, one-on-one messaging. Here, I can upload a file to the chat if I needed to. If I click on these three dots, I can save the chat. So if I want to have this, the transcript chat for some reason, I can. And then I can select who I want the participant to chat with. So I can say nobody, chat's off right now. Everyone's, focused on this lesson. Only me, which means they can't chat. When they chat, they have the option of only sending me a message, or everyone publicly. So they can do what we are doing now, where you can type a message and you can either send it to me or you can send it to the whole group. And that's just because I have mine popped out right now. So if I clicked merge to meeting window, it would just send it back to my Zoom window. It wouldn't be popped out.
Why would we want to send them a file?
Let's say you're doing a lesson and you want to send them a document to work on or to just kind of look over or maybe fill out while you're doing your live lesson. You can send it through the chat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me go to the chat and just make sure. The report is going to be in your dashboard, so you'll have to go and get that report. So it'll be in your dashboard under reports on that side where settings and all that stuff was. The very last one is reports. That's where the reports will be. Okay, share screen. So right now I'm sharing my Zoom window, but if I click share screen, I have the option of sharing my Zoom window, whiteboard, iPhone, iPad. I honestly have not used this. I'm not an Apple user, but there's a way that you can share your iPhone or your iPad screen by connecting. And then any applications that you have open, you're able to share those applications. So if I want to show a video, or if I have created a Nearpod lesson and I want to have it completed as a class, as long as I have that Nearpod window open, I'm able to share my screen and I can show the slides as they're looking at the slides also on their computer. So you're able to share, anything that you're able to access on your computer. The advanced, you're also able to just share a portion of your screen, your music or your computer sound only, or if you have content from a second camera. So I know some teachers use document cameras, so you may just want to share that screen. You can do that if you have one plugged up. Okay, I'm going to go back to basic. So we have had a few issues with some people clicking this optimize screen sharing for video clip. So my suggestion, I honestly do not ever really click that. I've heard of some issues when people click that it kind of freezes their screen. It makes it blurry. I've been able to always successfully share videos or anything without checking this, and also without checking share computer sound. So if I were to click share computer sound, what it would do is just share my computer sound directly to you, if that makes sense. But the issue I had is if I was trying to talk along with that video, you all would have a hard time hearing me over it. So I don't check it because you're still able to hear if I'm playing something, even if I don't have this checked. So for those that came in a little early, you heard I was playing music. I was playing music and I did not have shared computer sound checked, and you were still able to hear that music. So don't really need to check these. If for some reason though you are playing a video and you are just going to play that video and then maybe stop your screen sharing, then you could click share computer sound just to make sure that sound is projected loud enough for the students to hear. Just know they won't be able to hear you if you happen to say something or comment during that video. And then I'm going to click whiteboard just so that we can kind of all see and experience that. There we go. Okay, so here's my whiteboard, and I am able to insert text. I'm able to draw. It gives me these options for drawing. I'm able to do a few stamps, spotlight. So just gives me a little spotlight to use. My eraser. Excuse me, here I can format color, line width. This is my text format. I have undo, redo. I can clear everything. These are my different options for clearing. And then I can save. Additionally, I don't know if you all can see this toolbar, but if you can, I'm going to scroll down here to where it says show names of annotators. So if I click that, it'll show me who is writing or drawing what. So that may be something to help again with classroom management. So you know who, is inserting text or drawing or writing, whatever. On your end, if you click those, I think there's 3 dots at the top or something that says view option, and then you'll see the option to annotate. And so if you click that, then you will be able to annotate on this screen. So this is a great way to do a collaborative activity with your kids that allows you to, everyone to annotate over the same shared screen. Again, I can make it to where I can see who is annotating, and then I can also save this if I needed to have for reference later.
I like this.
Yes, this is great to use because you don't have to leave Zoom, you can do it right within Zoom. Okay. So I'm going to stop that. Someone asked, is there a way to make that a default setting for annotations as far as showing the participants? Showing who's annotating, I mean?
Yeah, as far as showing their names when they're annotating.
Yes. So mine was already enabled. So yes, again, when you go to your Zoom dashboard and go through all those settings, that'll be one of them. There's just so many that I didn't want to go through, every single thing today, but yes, that will be in your settings. So again, you can preset all of those things, but you also have the option to change them within your meeting. Excuse me.
And you change them within your meeting if you forgot in the settings by going to the top bar like you showed us at the top where it says view options. Is that where you change those annotation settings?
So on my side, I had a toolbar and then I hit 3 dots. I hit 3 dots and it gave me more things. One of them was, excuse me, show names of annotators. So I can show, and then I can also hide. So if you don't want, maybe you don't want other kids to see who is writing, who answered what, if you ask a question, you have that option as well. Excuse me, someone asked about scheduling a meeting on Zoom to set it up where it's Monday through Friday from, yes, so you would do that using that recurring feature. So when you schedule a meeting, you want to make sure you hit recurring meeting and schedule the time and the days that you want that meeting to occur. Someone asked about closed captioning. That's actually the second to next thing. So here, oh wait, let me share my screen again, sorry. Okay, so you're looking at my Zoom window. So right now I am recording this session. So I can pause if I need to, or I can just stop and end it altogether. If I didn't schedule this meeting to be recorded, this would simply say record. So I could begin recording whenever throughout the meeting. So closed caption. So yes and no for who asked that. You can assign someone to type if you want to. You can say you will type as the host. Or you can use a third-party service, which I honestly am not familiar with, so I have no idea how that works. But those are your 3 options for closed captioning at the moment. So there's nothing within Zoom that will generate the closed caption for you, unfortunately. And now breakout rooms. I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting to get to that. So breakout rooms just allows me to create essentially what is called different breakout rooms. So as you can see right here, it says that I have 34 participants and I can choose the number of rooms that I want to create. So I'm going to say, and notice as I go up or down, it does the math for me and tells me how many people will be in each room, okay? So I am going to make 5 rooms. There will be 6 to 7 people per room. I have the option of letting Zoom just generate who goes where, so it does it automatically. Or if I want to assign people to rooms, I can assign them manually, okay? For the purpose of this, I'm going to do automatically. So when I hit create rooms, you see it's generated my breakout rooms for me. So I have 5 breakout rooms, shows me who is in each breakout room. I have the option of renaming the room if I want to, or if I say on the fly, you know what, I made 5, but I really just want 4, I can delete by clicking here. Additionally, if I hover over someone's name, I have the option to move them to another room or exchange them, so swap them out with someone else. So let's say I know that Donald and Giselle are like BFFs. I don't want them in the same room because they're gonna kind of, you know, just be talking the whole time. So let me move Donald, or let me switch Donald out with someone else in another room. I can do that by hovering over their name. Down here, recreate just allows me to recreate the rooms. So if I needed to recreate, I can do that by clicking here. Here gives me some options. So this means that they will move automatically. If this is not checked, I think it gives them a window that they will have to click join to move to the breakout room. So I can make it where I don't want them to click anything. Once I start it, they just go to that room. Here means they can return to the main session at any time. So once I create the breakout rooms, it will keep me in this room, this main session. If I have this checked, that means they can leave their breakout room at any time and come join me back in this main session. Here, I can choose for breakout rooms to close automatically after a number of minutes. So for the purpose of this short activity we're going to do, I'm going to have 3 selected here, but you can change that. You can be notified when the time is up, and you can set a countdown. So I'm going to do 30 seconds. So once the room closes, you get a countdown that say, hey, you have 30 seconds to return to the main room. If they don't return by those 30 seconds, they'll automatically be returned to the main room.
Ms. Harbor, how do we set the length of the group breakout time?
That option right there, breakout rooms close automatically after however many minutes you want
that's the
breakout
top.
rooms to be open.
Thank you.
And you don't have to have that. You can still manually go in and say, all right, close all breakout rooms. So
Okay.
you're not obligated to have a number in there. If I want to add a room, oops, didn't want to do that. I would just click add a room. So let's say, you know what, I want to have 6 rooms. I can click add a room and then just move people around. And here is going to allow me to open all rooms, okay? So we have not that much time left, but I'm gonna give you a short activity just to get you to experience on the user end of the breakout room. So when you get in your room, you are going to take the first letter of everyone's name in that room and create as many words as you can. So again, take the first letter of everyone's name in that room and create as many words as you can. So fingers crossed that someone has a person with the vowel as the first letter for every room, okay? So I'm going to open all rooms and then you all can join and start. You have 3 minutes. Okay, so we're all joining back the main session. I think that might be everyone. Okay, so that was breakout rooms. I'm not gonna, usually I would ask everyone, each group how many words they were able to make, but we are very short on time. So I'm going to go over, oh, I did want to say, so notice how I sent you all the message. I told you all that you had a freebie, the letter A. Hopefully you all saw that. So I'm able to broadcast a message out to each room, and it will appear at the top of your screen. I saw someone shaking their head no. But it will appear at the top of your screen, whatever message I'm able to broadcast. And again, it broadcasts to all the breakout rooms. So I can't send a message to a particular breakout room. It will just have to go to everyone. And then you also have the option, someone asked me for help in one of the groups. So there will be an option that says ask host for help. And that just alerts me, and then I can come to that breakout room. So as a host, I'm able to just kind of pop in to different breakout rooms, one at a time. I can't, obviously be in all the breakout rooms at once, but I'm able to just kind of go in, pop in each room and kind of see what's going on. Again, if someone asks for help, I can go to that room and assist them as needed. And then also, again, a co-host is not able to create breakout rooms, but as a co-host, I do have the ability to also pop into those different rooms. So the co-host has the ability to just kind of join each room and check and see what's going on. Just two more things. So reactions, these are just two quick reactions. So if I click on this, I can clap and I can give a thumbs up. Those are just two quick reactions that are available at the bottom. And then if I click on more, we have the option of also streaming live. So I can go live on Facebook. I can go live on Workplace by Facebook. I can go live on YouTube. So if you're having a Zoom session, you also have that option to go live on all these platforms at the same time. So whatever you are streaming in your Zoom session, you can also stream from any one of these three platforms. Okay, I'm going to check the chat for questions. Mr. Freebie, yes, it doesn't, I don't think it plays a sound or anything. It just pops up at the top real quick. I'm not even sure how long the message stays up there. You're welcome. So we have like 1 minute left, but any questions that you all may have that I didn't cover or I may have missed, I tried to keep up. I may have missed in the chat, please feel free to put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask me right now. You're welcome.
Was there a sign-in for this, Phil, or no?
No, I'm going to pull it from my PLC, so you're good. Yes.
Thank
And I'm also
Thank
going
you.
to send a link out to this recorded session for those that may have come in late, or I know some people were having email issues this morning and I had to email them the link personally. So I'll email everybody this recorded session for you to reference also.
Dominique, regarding closed captioning, are you familiar with a third-party software that works well with Zoom?
I am not. I can
Okay.
ask and see.
I'll look too.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I am not familiar with that at all.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Dominique. I signed up for this PL through another party's email, Ms. Walker's email, Melissa Walker, I think. So how would I be able to get credit for attendance?
So you're saying you didn't register in my PLC?
Right, because she sent me a number that wasn't working. I think it was 160348. It wasn't working, so she sent me your Zoom information, and that's
Just a
how I
link?
got in.
If you will send me an email, and I'll drop my email in the chat, and I'll add you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I think that was true of a couple others of us too, because we just got a list that had those Zoom links.
Right. We had
Because we were having a problem signing up.
Oh, okay. Then yes, please, if you can please just send me an email, because it'll be hard for me to know who, to go through and see
Right.
who was listed and who wasn't. Just shoot me an email and I can add you to, I can add you in my PLC. So I just put my email address in the chat. It's dharbor DHARBOUR.
Dominique, real quick, is there a way to print the chat if you're not the host, or save the chat?
So if you go to your chat box now and click on those 3 dots, do you see an option that says save chat?
Got you. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Ms. Harbor, does that save that chat with that individual, or is it, how can you save the entire chat?
No, that saves the entire chat.
Oh,
Mhm.
So you go to chat and then,
At the bottom, you'll see where you can send a message. You'll see 3 dots. If you click on those 3 dots, you should see an option that says save chat.
I see it, thank you.
No problem. Yes, Lori, feel free to email me anytime. If you schedule a meeting and you find a mistake, how do you cancel it and start over? So you can go back and edit that meeting, Shannon. You don't have to delete it. When you schedule the meeting and you go to your scheduled meetings in Zoom, you can click edit and fix whatever mistakes you may have made. Okay, I think I covered all the questions. Again, yes, if you, for some reason, were not able to register in my PLC, please shoot me an email and I will add you. Or feel free to email me if you have any Zoom questions. If you're school-based, your ETS will be able to help you as well, assist you with any questions, anything Instruct-Tech related. So your Bitmoji Classroom or Zoom, anything, they'll be more than happy to assist. You are welcome. My pleasure. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I was getting quite a few emails, so I tried to make sure to keep that open right until the meeting started in case people needed that link. I was like, oh, this is just the worst timing. But again, I'm going to email everybody the recorded session, so anybody who may have missed it, they'll still have access to the session today. No need to sign in. I'm going to take your attendance from my PLC. So I don't have an additional sign-in form. You're fine.
Oh, I do have a question about downloading the recorded class session into Google Drive. I received the steps from my ET yesterday, and the last step says drag the saved recording into your Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to open up your Google Drive and drag the recording into it.
You would have to minimize those 2 windows, but you can simply click upload. So whatever folder you're in or that you want the video to be in Google Drive, you click on that plus sign, new upload, and just find wherever you save the video on your computer, and you could do it that way also.
Upload, thank you.
Sure. I think you can just type in. So I know like the presets only show half hours, but I think I've been able to go in there and just click on it and like type in 2:15 or something like that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Harbor. That was a really good meeting today.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, and hopefully you all will be Zoom experts soon.
Ms. Harbor, one quick question again. What did you say you would drop the presentation at again to go back and work through it? What did you say you would put it?
I'm going to email it.
Email it, okay.
Yeah, so once APS email is back up,
okay,
I will send you all a link to the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Are we excused?
Yes, I'm done. If you don't have any further questions, you are free to go.
Thank you. Have a
No
great
problem.
day, everybody.